Hello everybody and welcome back to Middle-earth and our 4th Age Rhovanion campaign. In the last episode, we threw everything we had at the dwarven settlement of Nereg-Zagil and we captured it surprisingly easily. We rushed them before they could build up any significant dwarven garrison here, so that explains that. Today what we want to do is make sure that we've got that taken care of in terms of who's going to be leading it. Before someone incompetent ends up with the governance trait. And so this is the guy we're going to be leaving in charge. He's an adept governor, which is going to eventually get him some nice traits. Although, actually, I'm seeing, yeah, he's lavish. That's going to hurt construction by 10%. Well, I think we're going to leave him here anyway. He's got some interesting traits. He's intelligent, and that combined with a decent opinion of liege trait. He's dubious. Once he becomes the governor, that's going to increase. And then once he becomes attuned, his construction costs are going to be helped a little bit. I imagine he can get up to expert governor or inspired governor eventually. But one thing we want to do really early on here, in addition to getting out everybody else, so that they don't accidentally become the governor. And for garrison, I think I want to leave probably like one of these skirmish units. Everybody else can go. Just like that. But we want to leave an emissary here. And actually, we want to leave an emissary in every single settlement. So we'll queue one up there. In fact, I think I may even make that take priority. The reason for this is that when you are at war with the dwarves, even if you don't border them, there is still a subtle threat that they pose to your settlements, especially if you're playing a faction right around their territory or former territory. And that is their emissaries can be very active in bribing your settlements as well as your units or your units, your small armies that are moving back and forth between settlements to resupply or reinforce. And so one way to counter that is by leaving an emissary in every settlement. You'll notice that in places like Yath and Ra, I've only got a single unit here. And as I expand, I'm going to be leaving other settlements similarly somewhat undefended. So my armies are going to be, on the front line because I don't have the biggest population to support huge garrisons and large enough armies for what I need to do. That means these places are going to be very easy to bribe. The dwarves have a ton of money and they're just looking for something to spend it on. And so as long as we're at war with them, that's going to be a potential threat. But an emissary in a settlement seems to counter it. It makes the cost too high or something. So that's a bit of insurance, just having that there. The other thing I'm going to do is bring another emissary up north and see if I can possibly get a ceasefire with the dwarves and Dale. It'll have to be something that occurs on the same turn. Currently, we are at war with both of them. Again, as we mentioned last episode, they share a very strong alliance. So when one goes to war, the other one follows. I don't think Dale really wants to fight us. If we, looked up at the disposition of their forces, and we can start to bring our emissary over here. Yeah, they've got an army here that's like aimed into the east currently, like they want to go after North Rune, with whom they are also at war. So they don't necessarily want to fight us. They just got dragged into this war because we attacked their ally, the dwarves. So if I can get a peace with Dale and the dwarves, that would be great. I'm not sure that it's going to work because we do share a border with Dale, unfortunately. So we'll give it a shot. Okay, and as the turn ends here, I can see the other dwarven army that we knew existed somewhere. I have no idea where they were, probably hidden in the trees or maybe just somewhere out of sight. They're moving away, so this is not a threat. This is that unit of hireling spearmen, I believe. And they're going to be heading back to dwarven lands. So that's fine. They're going to get out of our territory. The thing that is not fine is this army of Dale. So I'm thinking peace is not really going to be an option. They're heading down towards towards our settlement here. It's a pretty small army, but it is led by a family member. They've got 4 other units, and we don't have a lot here. We will get another unit of Rhovanion foresters there, but we don't have the muster fields finished yet, so our recruitment options here are pretty limited. One thing we can do, and what we may need to do, is start shifting our focus to the north. That's not really what I wanted to do with this campaign. I wanted to give a shot at trying some other strategies instead of conquering Dale, heading off into the west or heading off into the east into Rune's territory, because usually I conquered Dale pretty early. But we may be forced to send our troops up here to deal with that, and we'll see what that can bring. So I think I will take this army and move them over into the west, and then we'll move them up into the north. And we may have a large enough force to, once we've added some to it, to be able to make a difference in terms of the war with Dale. As long as they continue fighting with North Rune, which they may or may not, then we may have a pretty good chance at distracting them. We'll have to keep our eyes on Rhovanion as well as this border, because I do see a Dunabar moving up too. But let's take a look at our news. Yep, so all those emissaries are done. So I can feel a little more secure about that. And our faction leader is now attuned. So in terms of cost, that saved us 1,000 Mirian right there. Last turn, this hosting halls building would have cost us 9,000. Now it's costing us 8,000. This is saving us about 2,000, because last turn it would have cost us 12,000. Now it's just 10,000 and some change. So it does make a difference, especially with those higher end buildings. And I think, actually, our profits are pretty decent. We're making 3,000 a turn. I think I may want to go ahead with the hosting halls. This is going to get us only only one unit. Well, actually two. It's going to get us, importantly, these Rhovanion March Wardens, which are a fairly small unit, which is good because population is low around here. But they are very effective. Good charge bonus, good defense, decent attack. And so they are going to be kind of the core of our cavalry arm. And then we can also train Rhovanion nobles. So this gets us a bodyguard unit whenever we want, if we feel like we don't have enough of those. So we'll go for that. It's going to take a good chunk out of our income or treasury, but that's fine. In another turn, we'll be able to build the Dominion building down here. And so I think we want to get our spy into the north to see what we need to do with regards to Dale. All right, so the fort here. I'm wondering if this army was the army that was over here, and now it's moved back into the south because we're at war. All right, so actually looking at... we can't quite get this emissary up here. But we can get him in the settlement, and we can take our other emissary over to see if Dale wants peace. We have a Dwarven emissary here, so let's give this a shot. I think the Dwarves may be interested in a ceasefire with us. We don't share a border with them, so that's why I'm thinking that may work. They won't be interested in trade because we don't share a border with them. So if we ask for trade rights, they would want us to pay, because it's not going to benefit them at all. It wouldn't benefit us either, because you need that land border or some kind of sea trade, and that's just not an option for us. But we could see about money if we ask them for cash. Let's see. Okay, they want us to give them money. So that's actually a good sign. We can get a little bit out of them, I think. Let's try 2,500. All right, they want 1,170. All right, it's not going to be very much, but we can get something. Let's ask for 1,000. They want 560. Okay, so it's going to be hundreds. It's going to be hundreds, or it's going to be nothing. Let's ask for 200 here. All right, how about just nothing? How about just ceasefire? All right, they want 240. Okay, you know what? We'll give you 240. The unfortunate thing about this is that we probably just gave the dwarves money for no reason. All right, let's just see if... let's offer them some cash. 2,000. If it'll get me some time... Nope. Okay, so we just gave the dwarves 240 Mirian for nothing at all, because they're going to be back at war with us next turn. So they do want peace, but they're going to be dragged into a war because of Dale, which is too bad. And Dale has another big army up here, so we will need to get our forces headed up there. Yeah, and as expected, we are under siege, and Dale has a bunch of other armies in the area.
Captain.
Well, we at least have a pretty sizable force up here. I'll bring even these kind of remnants up, like the 18 Rhovanion Foresters, the 18 Rhovanion Hunters, because we can retrain all these guys at Arab Gobel, and it'll be useful to have them up there. Another thing I'm curious about is what the Bjornings are doing. They haven't taken the East Bight. There's a settlement right down here, which they may take, because we're not going to be acting very quickly on it ourselves. But they also have a settlement up here in Holt. Let's take a look at the diplomacy. Okay, yeah, dwarves are at war with us again. Adunabar and elves have a ceasefire. So what we want to do with the Bjornings is ask for trade and some money. And they may have a decent amount of money because their units are quite cheap. All right, they want 180, so we could ask for 1,500 maybe. All right, they'll give 540. Okay. How about just 700? All right, so that makes up for our 240 Mirian gift to the dwarves last turn. Now, we won't be able to ally with them because they are allied with Dale. But it is nice we are improving our trade. Well, we will once we get Arab Gobel out of the siege that it's under currently. So that's taken care of. We'll keep an emissary stationed around here. And the other thing we want to do is build in Nerigzagil, because we can do that now. It's going to cost us, you know, almost half of our money. But this will get us 492 in land tax. We are making some decent trade from the settlement already. And it's going to cost us a couple hundred in terms of mismanagement, so, you know, that's not too great. I guess we could consider moving our capital. Let's see, if we're losing 5,000, but we changed our capital over here. It doesn't make much of a difference, but I guess every little bit helps. If we moved it over here, what would that look like? Okay, that's actually better. Alright, so we'll keep moving our spy. Rhovanian's just kind of hanging around Rathwin. And we'll move up here. We know we've got another Dale army to the north of this settlement. We've got one here. Can't quite see what these guys have, although actually this is looking quite light.
Captain.
So I'm feeling pretty decent about this. Let's get another unit, a couple units of cav. And then we'll push north. So I can tell from the map that Rune has taken the southern borderlands, which is this settlement right here. Erebos, I think. They have not taken this yet, Eastern Rhovanion, but it's got a pretty small garrison, so in another turn or two, I expect they will take it. Southern Rhovanion is similarly not taken yet, but the rebels take their main armies outside of the settlement, which makes it very easy for the other factions to swoop in and steal that territory. So pretty soon these rebel settlements are going to be gone, and that's going to be a bit of a problem because we're going to be next on the menu for those other factions. Okay, North Rune wants an alliance, it wants trade rights, and they're going to give us map information. Well, the trade rights means nothing. The map information I don't care too much about. The thing that I am concerned about is that they are at war with Rhovanion, and that will force a peace. If we accept this alliance, it may force a peace between Northrune and Rhovanion. And then that would free up Rhovanion to attack us. So I'm gonna hold off on that. What I'd like to do is, the smart thing would be to take Belligant. I do think that's the best move overall for Rhovanion to do that very early. Oh, what do we have here? Okay, it's that Dwarven army. Again, not a problem. Alright, let's go. I think we have to go right for this army of Dale. And that means I don't think we'll be able to get our cav reinforcements there just yet. So we'll move these guys together. And we'll have our battle. They may just withdraw. Oh, I can't. Oh, I just don't have enough movement points. All right. Well, if they attack, I think we will show up as reinforcements. Yeah, here's the bigger army. And it's a bunch of low-tier stuff. They've got a single unit of longbows, but the rest is low-tier. Now, these are spears. Barding militia, so they are going to be a bit of a problem for our light cav. They've got another army up here. This is going to be slightly more dangerous, more bows, a couple of units of riders. And there's the King of Dale. They've got some good armies initially. They got a few good units floating around. But let's see. We're making 3,000. It's going to be 6 more seasons. I guess we could build in Yathin Raw. But I don't want to go down too low in terms of income. Maybe land clearance would be good. That's going to get us 120 and a bit of extra trade for about a total of 200 extra Mirian per turn. I think that's worth it. But we do want to watch our treasury because as soon as... Okay, they're attacking us. It'll be an interesting battle. We don't get our reinforcements, but we will be able to destroy both of the armies in the area, which is very nice. So what are we looking at? 3 longbows, 1 unit of Dale Mounted Watch, 1 militia unit, and then here, as we've seen, some low-tier stuff. This is their noble, which is a dangerous unit. Dragon Slayers are tougher than our Rhovanion nobles. But I think we can handle this. Alright, the terrain's looking pretty good. We have the main army coming from our southwest and the besieging army coming from our north, which means we could get up on this hill. Yeah, we could get up in a very nice position up here. So let's set that up. So as usual for Rhovanion, our infantry is fairly weak, and it exists mainly to distract and harass, with a couple of odd units for pinning. We've got Rhovanion spearmen here, which are, decent spears, I guess. And we've got Rhovanion axemen, which are similarly okay, but very no frills, both of these units. We've got 3 archers and a couple of beaten up skirmisher types. And so our cavalry is going to be doing pretty much all of the work. We do have some nice units, a couple of the Rhovanion nobles. We've got a lot of Rhovanion scouts. This is our light cav. And we've got even a unit of Rhovanion march wardens, which is, as we've said, our pretty much our best cav in terms of just workhorse ability, right? They're not going to do fantastic things, but they're not going to rout instantly. They're not going to take a bunch of losses too fast. So we'll do something like this, and we'll see how the AI is deployed. So there's the army that's attacking. The reinforcements are coming from over there somewhere. So we'll speed it up until they get here. And so they're kind of moving around in a weird way. They've got a couple units of Dale Watch with these armies, and one of them is just heading straight towards our cav. I'm going to take my archers off fire at will and have them halt, because I want to just run these guys right off the map. These are pretty light sword infantry, so a good cav charge should be alright to deal with them. We're taking some losses, but I think they should be breaking pretty soon. There they go. Alright, so we can pull back now. I'll put them back on fire at will, because now we've got some longbowmen coming into range. And I do want to focus on them. Although, honestly, these are the lower tier of longbowmen. Not too heavily armed. So we should be alright running them down with cav as well. The cavalry unit that I'm most worried about is the bodyguard, the family member that's way over there in the distance. They're being very hesitant to approach, and I'm not sure why that is. So they may withdraw once we defeat this army. I mean, I would like to have them all wiped out in this battle, and then we can just take this army mostly intact into the north. Alright, and even our Rhovanion foresters here, the skirmishers, are close enough to fire, so this is all very good. The bowmen haven't been able to do anything to us yet. Now let's send our spearmen after his riders. Who's actually going to let us catch him? And so look how well we did there. I mean, I know it was like a downhill charge. It's, you know, spearmen versus fairly light cav, so it shouldn't be too shocking that we did well. But the fact is, we took just one loss. The other two were friendly fire, and maybe that one loss was friendly fire as well. And so there's something about the formation that these guys have. We gave them the hedgehog ability in one of the later patches to the mod, and that means I think that they fight in a slightly different way even when they're outside of that formation, which is very nice. So it looks like the AI army is moving off, but what I want to do is take all my cav over and see if I can get some kills, because, you know, if the family member's withdrawing, that's fine. We can certainly take out the archers here. And maybe they're not withdrawing, actually. Maybe they're just extremely confused. But either way, I want to take care of these longbowmen. Any of these guys that we can take out is going to be just a very, very good thing. And they're actually not going to be withdrawing. This is not going to be a great charge necessarily, but did what it needed to do. I'll send these guys over, and I would love to kill the family member. So our guys have javelins. Theirs don't. We'll just let them throw a couple of those. I think we did get a kill or two. Let's see if we can catch him. Okay. So they got away. All right, but a clear victory. We still have most of our army quite intact, and we took out a lot of theirs. So that should basically clear out the area, and then we may be able to move north across the river after this. And we have a coming of age, Bane of Rhovanost, and he is in Rhovanost, which is very nice. He's an adept governor and a competent commander. Very good stuff. Intelligent as well, so he's going to make a good heir for our ruler, who is getting, well, he's middle-aged, which means he's going to, at some point, kick the bucket. And we've got a very young family member here to replace him when that happens. It might be good to keep him there in the capital, because we will want a general on this side of the map, especially if our main armies are fighting in the north. Alright, so what we're going to do then is get these guys kind of together. We have the ability to retrain some of these units. So I'm going to do that. We've got just a few, let's see, hunters, foresters. Let's get these guys over. In terms of cavalry, I think the default unit size is something like 48. So, 40, yeah, so that should be good. We'll combine some of these. And then we'll get the smallest units inside Arab Gobel. That leaves us with this army. Let's take these guys out. And you know what? I think I will grab the spearmen as well. And we'll put them right on the bridge. Now, there's no mercenaries in the area, unfortunately. But this is now a pretty decent army. We've got a couple of almost full units of those spears. We've got some archers. And we've got some cav, and we've got more cav coming up to reinforce. Now, they may hit us this turn, but this army's looking kind of weak. And even these other armies, you know, I'm not too worried about it. So if they hit us, that might give us a nice opportunity to deal with them. So we'll focus on retraining these guys. And let's get another unit. Population here is dipping below 1,000, which is not great. The floor for population is 400, I think. So that means that we've got 500 or so people to work with in terms of units. And this is, if we train a unit of Rhovanion spearmen, that's going to bring it down by another 100. So we do have to be a little careful about what we're training. But I think Rhovanion spearmen make a pretty good garrison unit. So I will go for one of those. And otherwise, I want to hold off because we only have 6,000 in the bank. And so we'll end the turn here. We'll see what the AI does. I imagine Dale is going to attack us. And if they do, we will have another battle. But probably one that will wait for the next episode. And as I thought, they're going to attack. So looking at what we're about to face here, it's a lot of low-tier stuff. So I'm not too concerned about this. Only a couple of archers. We'll deal with this army. They may even attack again this turn. But once this is cleared out, we are in a very nice position to potentially besiege Bern, maybe move up towards Dale itself eventually. So I think that'll be the plan for the near future, folks. In the next episode, we're going to fight this battle and then see what's coming next. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll check you out then. Bye-bye, everybody.